He does seem to be a pretty humble guy.
Very unreceiver-like.
Yeah, usually it's hype over humble.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to talk as much as possible. Interesting.
I'm going to be super high maintenance.
He strikes me. I don't know him at all. He strikes me as a good kid.
I agree.
I might be totally wrong. I don't know, but he just strikes me as a good kid.
I agree with that. Yep. All right. Declan's a good kid. Our executive producer, Judd Mackey here. This is Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment presented by Surly Brewing Company. If you're watching
hype
us
over humble.
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot of hype. A lot of hype.
Definitely hype.
A lot of
parts
self-hype
hype
from
and
Declan.
humble.
Yeah.
We do that.
There's not a lot of humble there. Let's be honest.
If you're watching us on a TCL TV, thank you, because TCL is one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They support us, and they get a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. When you support our partners and sponsors, you support us, so thank you guys. And every week, we take a market look at the Vikings game. It's called Purple Props. And we go through different odds and props. We'll pick the game on this episode, as we usually do. But, boys, let's start with NFL MVP odds from oddshark.com.
You like that? You like that?
Now, you guys haven't seen this yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm with him.
Who do you think – I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. Who do you think should be the odds-on favorite right now to win NFL MVP?
In the league as a whole.
Yes. I think Derrick Henry has to be up there because, my God, he's on pace for more than 2,000 yards. Now, yes, it's going to be in a 17-game season, but that's impressive. And quarterback-wise?
So Derrick Henry's 8th right now.
8th, okay, because he's a running back. Aaron Rodgers?
I would say the top three, just guessing in no order, are Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers.
You got one of the top three right. Kyler Murray is
Oh,
second right now at 4-1.
Aaron Rodgers not in top three?
Aaron Rodgers, no, admittedly, this did come out before last night. He probably goes higher. He's 12-1, 6th, and Lamar Jackson is 9th, just behind Derrick Henry at 25-1.
Okay, then I have no idea.
Yeah,
So Josh Allen is number one. It's like basically 3.5-1.
That's true.
Kyler Murray's 4-1. Dak Prescott's 5-1. Where do you think Kirk Cousins should factor in here somewhere?
I'm waiting to see, guy.
I am too. I need
Not
to see
yet,
it,
not
the next
yet.
4 games. I need to see
Not
it.
yet. Is he putting together a resume to factor in? Yes.
Yeah, I would. If Lamar Jackson's 9th, which I think is incredibly low, I really do.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah.
Then Kirk shouldn't probably be nowhere near the top 10 of it.
So I'll go through it here so you can kind of see the context. Josh Allen's number one. He's at 3.5-1. Kyler Murray's 4-1. Dak Prescott's 5-1. Tom Brady's 7-1. Matt Stafford 8-1. That's enough. Like, he's having a really good season.
He's my
And
guy.
team wins factor in here too. Aaron Rodgers 12-1. Justin Herbert 18-1. Derrick Henry 22-1. Lamar Jackson 25-1. Tied with Derek Carr. Sneaky good season for him.
DC.
Yeah, really good.
And they're winning some games. Joe Burrow 35-1. Pat Mahomes still in there at 40-1 because he's Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
And then you get to Kirk Cousins at 50-1. So he's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's 13th right now in the MVP odds according to oddshark.com.
Why is Lamar Jackson so low? Declan's right about that one.
Well,
that really surprises me.
This is just off the top of my head, but I think like he's not putting up the number. Like he had the big 400-yard game, but he's like, I want to say he's like 8 or 9 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. He's running the ball. But I think some of these other guys are just putting up more gaudy overall numbers in the passing game. But I'm with you. It does feel low. It does feel low for him. Like I'm probably putting him above Justin Herbert.
He only has 10 touchdowns to 5 picks, which through 7 games is conservative.
Yeah, Brady has like 20 touchdowns already, doesn't he?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a little more sense.
So that's part of the reason why. Some of this is perception. But I guess my next question off this is what needs to happen for Kirk to rise up into like the top 3, top 5, where he's in there with not Brady's career, but like MVP odds for this year.
So like top 3? Top 3 odds? They need to win the next 4 games, and he needs to play lights out? Top 3, yes. You would need
like
to run the
4-0,
table.
right?
4-0, 1 or 2 picks. Take your pick on touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. But you would need to have your team run the table with these next 4 games where he beats potentially Dak Prescott if he plays on Sunday.
Yeah.
He beats Lamar Jackson. He beats Justin Herbert and then Rodgers. And he's absolutely lights out. That would, I think, I'm not positive, but I think that would get him into the top 3.
Yeah, he right now. So let's play out that scenario here just for Kirk's numbers. He's sitting on 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's averaging just under 300 yards a game, which is, I think he's like 5th or 6th in yards per game. If they were to do that, which obviously sweeping these next 4 games is a huge long shot.
Yes.
But hey, raise the expectations. Go get it. Like, you got weapons, you got a defense, playing a couple home games, go get it. You're not going to get a healthy Dak Prescott this weekend. But if they come out of this and somehow they're like 7-3 or 6-4 even, and he's got, let's tack 10 touchdowns on, like Judd said, 23 touchdowns, and let's say there's 2 interceptions in there, 23 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and they're beating good teams, then he's probably top 5 in MVP. You got to keep in mind that these other quarterbacks like Matt Stafford's going to win a bunch of games the next month. Tom Brady's going to win a bunch of games the next month. So
Yes.
it really comes down to, if they were to have beat the Cardinals and the Bengals and they were sitting at 5-1, he would be much higher on this list. Because then he would have 4 game-winning drives on the season.
Yeah.
So the kicker and Dalvin Cook, or the bad call on that Dalvin Cook fumble, are probably the 2 biggest things that are preventing him from being higher up on this list right now.
Greg Joseph.
Bastard.
Greg bleeping Joseph.
That guy. So those are your NFL MVP odds. Before we pick the game here, let's also look at playoff chances. The Vikings right now, according to Football Outsiders, have a 48% chance to make the playoffs. So we're almost up to a coin flip. By the way, that's better odds than the Chiefs have right now to make the playoffs in a much more hyper-competitive AFC. The AFC just has a ton of teams throwing haymakers. The NFC is just like now that the Seahawks are kind of out of it.
It's not great.
Yeah. They have a 16% chance to win the division only after the Packers won last night. And only a 1% chance to win the Super Bowl. If the playoffs started today, the Vikings would play Tom Brady and the Bucs on the road in the first round.
Yeah. Those odds to me are perfect.
Yeah.
Like that
I
is
agree.
exactly right.
But a coin flip. Hey, you start 0-2 and you got a coin flip chance coming out of the bye week. I think you'd sign up for that.
It definitely feels like, too, that after it looking like the NFC North was just going to have the one division winner getting in the playoffs, it seems like if the Vikings start rattling off some wins, that they'll probably be able to actually be one of those wild card teams, or at least the Packers, too. It seems like they actually might be one of the wild card teams out of the North.
I agree completely.
Yeah, I don't see, I'm
the
looking
East
around.
again is just awful.
Yeah, East is terrible.
Outside of Dallas, again, they are terrible.
Yeah.
Listen, the teams you're competing against for playoff positioning, just for those wild card spots.
Yep.
Let's just play an either or game here. Who's the better team, Vikings or Bears?
Vikings.
Vikings, right?
That's not particularly close right now.
Correct.
Vikings or Panthers?
Vikings. They just beat them, and again, I don't think that's that close right now.
Vikings or 3-3 Falcons?
Vikings.
It's Vikings. And then the other teams, so those are all the fellow 3-win teams. Some of those teams are 3-4. If you want to go down to the 2-4 teams that are only a game back of you, well, there's only one of them. It's San Francisco.
Yeah,
and I think the Vikings are
I can't
better.
tell with them. Yeah.
I don't think they're a sleeping giant anymore either. I think they are who they are.
Quarterback thing there is really...
Unless Trey Lance comes in and basically pulls a Colin Kaepernick where he just steps in and all of a sudden they're just unbelievable.
And I don't see that.
I don't see that either.
Yeah, and Seattle, obviously, they're 2-5 with other 2-5 teams in the NFC East that are just garbage. But Seattle's a good team that's just Russell Wilson. No, well, I should say that back. Seattle's not a good team, but Russell Wilson makes them a good team when he's on the field. And they're just, I think now that they're 2-5, their season's just over. They're gonna lose to the Jaguars this weekend. You watch. Write it down. Bonus, write that down.
Okay.
The Seahawks lose to the Jaguars this weekend.
Notes. Take notes.
We'll put that on Purple Daily right there.
So which team, when the calendar flips to November, is going to get hot? Seattle,
Of all the teams I just mentioned, or
San
just
Francisco, yeah,
like the
'cause-
teams
well,
behind the Vikings, right?
Yes, yeah, because
Seattle will get
it's
hot.
not unusual for one team that we dismiss to get hot.
Yeah, well, Seattle. So they're supposed to get Russell Wilson back. So they have Jacksonville at home, and I legitimately think they're going to lose that game.
Wow.
And then they get a bye week, and then Russell Wilson. So they have games. They have games against they do play Green Bay and Arizona, but they play Washington, San Francisco, the Texans, the Lions, the Bears. So there's four. Once Russell Wilson comes back,
That's Seattle's schedule?
there's 4 or 5 games that they're going to win.
Okay, yes.
But they still have games against the Rams and 2 against the Cardinals. But honestly, I think they're too far back. Now, the Vikings have a really tough schedule still, too. These next 4 games, and then you got those
Right.
Bears games are not easy games, especially if they fire Matt Nagy and get a jolt. So, I don't know. But still, this is yours. The wild card spot is yours. But can you get to the division competition by winning some of these tough games is the biggest question.
If there were still 6 teams going, I would say that the Vikings are very much a fringe team, and I'm concerned that they're probably not going to make it. But with an extra team now, I really think the expectation, 1,000% at the very least, playoff team.
Absolutely. If they make the playoffs, it's a colossal failure.
Yes. It gets a lot of people fired if you do not at least sneak in to that 7 spot.
Yep. All right, we're going to pick the game here in just a moment after we talk about skinny Judd Zulgad. Judd aspires to wear skinny jeans like Declan.
Hold on a
Livia
second.
is helping.
Livia weight control centers are fantastic, and I highly recommend them, okay?
Everybody's
But
talking about my
nobody-
tight pants.
Nobody wants to see Judd Zulgad, including my friends at Livia. They like me losing weight. They're very friendly. I go to the Tonka location. They're great to me. But you know what they don't want to see? They don't want to see Judd Zulgad wearing the jeans that Declan Goff can. The journey to skinny jeans has passed me by. You know what? Let's just get down to 36-inch waist. So, okay? And I am on my way there. I weighed in yesterday at Livia. 240 pounds a month ago, 223 now on my
Big
way
time.
down to 200 pounds. I'm very, very pleased. This plan is simple. It's easy. And now you can join me. First 10 weeks, free. Limited time offer ends soon. Livia.com. 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia.com. Check them out. Tell them Score North and Judd, Mackie and Judd told you to. You will be as happy as I am. And most important, your jeans will fit well. Doesn't mean you have to wear skinny jeans.
Yeah, also, Judd is still sipping on some beer. He's, Judd's not just eating kale. You can lose a couple pounds a week and enjoy your life is what
Correct.
it sounds like here with
Which
Livia.
at my age,
awesome.
incredibly important.
Yep. All right. Vikings are right now 2.5-point favorites in most sports books, but we're also seeing 3-point favorites in some. This started with Cowboys as a field goal favorite. It looked like there was a big swing yesterday or sometime in the last 48 hours. Maybe some sports books getting information on just Dak Prescott being unlikely to play. So this is a weird game. Judd brought up the point before the show. Is this the type of game, if it wasn't Sunday Night Football and the Cowboys, that they might just take off the board? It's one thing if you're the Browns are going from Baker Mayfield to Case Keenum, and the sports books don't see a huge difference between those two quarterbacks, and it doesn't really impact the line. When you're going from Dak Prescott to Cooper Rush, that's like a 5-6 point swing and a spread, and no one knows if he's going to play. So 2.5-point favorites right now, the Vikings are sometimes. We're going to use 2.5 just for this conversation.
Sure.
73% of the bets are coming in on the Cowboys because people love betting America's team, right?
Oh, yeah, the star.
But 66% of the money is coming in on the Vikings. So to me, that means smart or more lucrative bets are coming in on the Vikings. The Vikings are 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games, according to Action Network. The Cowboys are 6-0 against the spread this season, which is very rare. You don't see those type of starts.
Boy.
I've got some more information here that I will give you, but just your general thoughts about the Vikings being a field goal-ish favorite in this game.
I think that's fine. I think that's fair. And in fact, I think if Dak starts or Cooper Rush starts, I pick the Vikings to straight up win. Now, against the spread, it's a little bit tougher because I'm not I'm not entirely sure that they will cover the spread, but I think the Vikings win. And if you told me that I had to pick, I would say that the Vikings win, and they do ultimately. If we're going with 2.5 for the spread, I say that they do cover that spread.
So there's Judd's prediction there. Before we get to Declan and I, here's a couple more nuggets of information. The Action Network says, to put this bluntly, these are two teams in completely different classes. Led by Dak Prescott, which again, we'll see, the Cowboys are first in scoring offense at 34 points per game. No team has been able to slow this offense down. I don't see that changing against a Vikings defense that's one of the worst against the run in the NFL, giving up 4.8 yards per carry, which is fourth worst in the NFL. And although the Vikings have the weapons in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen to give the Cowboys defense problems, that hasn't always translated to dominant performances given the conservative nature of head coach Mike Zimmer. That is preaching the choir here of this show. Overall, by the way, the Vikings have the second best record against the spread since Mike Zimmer took over 7 years ago. They're just a great team against the spread. But after a bye, and this includes playoffs, they're only 3-5 against the spread, which is among the worst records. Usually coaches are better out of the gate against the spread. So a lot of different factors in play here. All right, Declan, who wins this game, Vikings or Cowboys? And if you want to factor in the Vikings being three-ish point favorites, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Vikings do win. I know on another episode, on Friday's episode, on 4-Question Friday, there is the spooky factor of Cooper Rush coming in here and playing spoiler and being and possibly running into a buzzsaw of a backup quarterback that you are overestimating. But I think the Vikings cover the spread and win this game if Cooper Rush is indeed starting. As much as the Vikings have fallen into the traps with the Caleb Haneys of the world and even Matt Moore from a couple of years ago, you should absolutely roll this Cowboys team if Dak Prescott doesn't play. So I think they cover the spread and they win.
Yeah, I think they win either way. I think if Dak was fully healthy, I would look at this much differently. But the Vikings have an amazing pass rush. If he's not going to be able to move around, which he's not Kyler Murray mobile, but Dak's a big dude and can move around and escape some pressure. If he's going to be a statue in that pocket, the Vikings are going to get to him. And if Cooper Rush plays, the 2.5 is laughable. All right. If Cooper Rush, I know they're going to hand off and the Vikings have a hard time, but it's a home game for the Vikings. The defense is going to absolutely stifle Cooper Rush. So if Cooper Rush plays, it's a wrap. Even if Dak Prescott plays, I got the Vikings, and I got the Vikings covering as well here.
Let me give you a stat here, okay? Because now what you read, Phil, is accurate. Yes, Zim is conservative. The offense drives us crazy. I get that. But for all that we're talking about the Cowboys are so improved, and look, they are good. They're in a terrible division. And Trayvon Diggs, unbelievable, 7 picks. 2 stats for you. First of all, scoring defense. Cowboys are 20th, so no great shakes. Against the pass, they're 28th. So here's what I want to see. And this goes back to the whole no excuses thing. If it has to be a shootout, let's go.
Yeah.
Win it. Let's quit with this. And this starts with the Vikings. Let's quit with this perception of, if it's not a defensive showdown, Vikings are dead. Let's put that BS aside and let's embrace what this team can do well, because I like the personnel. The Cowboys are 28th against the pass. Kirk Cousins is having a good year.
30.
Exactly. So if you have to win 42-35, win the damn game that way.
Agreed. Totally agree.
I'm so tired of falling into this. Well, they're going to have to play good defense. Yes, it would help if they did. But if they don't and they get waxed or they don't play well, that's on them. This is why Mike Zimmer won't be back in 2022. I'm sick of just giving in to what we think that the narrative is if they don't play good defense. I'm so tired of that.
I couldn't have said, totally agree. Go light somebody up.
Yeah, dude.
My God, this should be the Justin Jefferson breakout party. This should be Adam Thielen doing awkward, weird touchdown celebrations. Go light this defense up.
Gritty?
Absolutely. I want to see Kirk Cousins do the gritty.
He tried.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
It's very Judd.
Yeah.
Well, he did. I guess he did last year.
Yeah, he just basically moves like I do when I dance.
The over-under here is presented by Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They're all about risk management, helping your business protect itself against outside risks, keeping your employees safe, your bottom line protected. Federatedinsurance.com and click on Risk Management Corner for great resources. Remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. The over-under for this game started at 55. It's now down to 53. I've seen it 52.5 in some places because there's question marks about Dak Prescott. The totals have gone over in 7 of the Vikings' last 8 home games. So they're playing higher scoring games than Vegas looks at. You guys think the total final score of this game is 53, over or under 53?
I'm going over. Over.
A little shootout.
I'm going shootout, yes. Yeah, because I think it might be absolutely necessary to engage in that type of game. And if you're not willing to, and you're the Vikings, shame on you. I'm going over.
I'm taking under if it's Cooper Rush. Even if the Vikings, let's say the Cowboys are competitive, I mean, 28-21, that's still under 53. Like that, 53.5, in my opinion, is a lot for Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. Like I'm shocked it's that high. So I think it's under. I think it's under.
Okay.
The Vikings are scoring 30 points in this game. So,
okay.
However the Cowboys want to match that.
Well, if Pat P was playing, I'd probably side with Dex. But you have to account for Breland and Dantzler. And Cooper Rush might suck, but he might not suck that bad.
I mean, I don't respect Cooper Rush at all. I don't. He hasn't done a pass. Exactly.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying
you think he's just like
him.
Tom Brady, just been waiting and lurking? No, he's going to be overwhelmed.
But the Vikings secondary for sure takes a hit.
Unless Cooper Rush plays.
Well,
they can sit back and camp back there all day.
But then, Phil, your point is a good one, too. If the Cowboys can effectively run the football, and the Vikings have not shown through 6 games that they can stop the run.
Well, running the football is great, but you're not going to score a bunch of touchdowns running the football.
No, but if the Vikings score, 35 points, it's not going to be that hard for the Cowboys to get you to the over.
I think if Cooper Rush plays, it's like 30-16. The Cowboys kick like 3 field goals, maybe score a touchdown, and that. So if Cooper Rush plays, I'm going under. If Dak Prescott plays, both teams score. It's like 34-30 or something. And the Vikings left to win the ball.
Bill is taking Cooper Rush so lightly. I'm actually.
What are you? You guys are like so parallel
right now.
Okay, you guys go listen to 4 Question Friday and listen to the utter fear that these guys.
Rashad
Cooper
Breeland
Rush
and Cam Dantzler are your cornerbacks. They still have CeeDee Lamb.
Cam Dantzler was one of the better cornerbacks in the league second half last year, and he's been good so far this year.
And he was benched.
He
wasn't even active in week
game.
1. They didn't trust him. It was Sam Darnold. Declan could have picked Sam Darnold off.
It's Cooper Rush, you guys. It's Cooper Rush. They're waving the white flag.
I'm going over. I'm going over.
Okay.
See, this is the problem. This is such a Vikings mentality. Oh, it's Cooper Rush. No problem at all.
No.
Rolling to victory.
Listen to me.
If it's Cooper Rush, put the pedal to the metal and score 50 yourself. Drive it to the over yourself then. Do what you did to Jacksonville in 98 when you put up like 52 against them.
Here's what's amazing, all right? You have spent
Cowboys
the entire season, all summer, and you've said no excuses.
There are no excuses.
And you've said raise the bar.
I agree.
Have championship expectations.
Head to the bar. That's what I said.
And then when Cooper Rush comes in as just a random guy off the street backup quarterback, you're like, oh, my God.
No, because the no excuses mantra is I don't want to hear we took so-and-so lightly. I want you, if it's Cooper Rush, destroy these guys. Again, the Cowboys' defense was so bad last year that there's this perception of Dan Quinn has turned this defense around. They're marginal now. They don't completely suck. But you can score a ton of points. They're 28th against the pass, and they're giving up the 20, or they're 20th in scoring defense. Run up the score.
All right.
Skull Vikings, let's win this game.
Cooper Rush,
Skull Vikings on a
this Cooper Rush is so good. In 2016, at Central Michigan, he completed less than 50% of his passes and threw 16 picks at Central Michigan. Right? He threw 16 picks in the MAC,
Chippewas?
Dude. Is it the Chippewas? I don't know.
I don't know.
Central Michigan.
There's so many directional schools.
I think I saw him play the Hawkeyes once in a non-conference game down.
I bet that was riveting. You probably saw Cooper Rush throw a pick.
I dragged Don to that game. No, that was well before.
Don.
Yeah,
You did.
I did. I was like, I want to see the stadium.
That is the definition of dragging.
Let's go. And she was okay. Yes, Central Michigan Chippewas. Take that.
All right, I got a few props here for you guys.
All right, okay.
All right, Kirk Cousins over or under 298 yards according to Action Network. Just passing along.
I'll go over.
315.
Yeah, I'll go over 2.
315.
He's gonna have a day.
I think he's going to have a day. I think it's going to be under because I think they're going to also try and establish the run quite a bit with Dalvin here.
Okay.
I'm out on that.
Justin Jefferson over or under 87.5 receiving yards.
Oh, slap the over.
Better be over.
Yeah.
Yeah, give
If
me
it's
that.
not,
Give me
I'm
those
firing
triple
people.
digits.
Slap
Monday
five.
morning, I am dismissing people if it's not over.
So Vikings win 42-10, but
I'm
Jefferson
dismissing.
Jefferson goes for
Mismanagement.
79 passing yards. Sorry, someone's got to be held accountable.
Mismanagement.
Goodbye.
Yep. Yep. This is his game. This is his night. This is his day.
And then Dalvin 80.5 rushing yards over or under.
88. What was it? 80.
80.5.
80.5.
Go ahead, Dex.
I'll say under. I'll say under. I think they're going to pick an emphasis on trying to stop Dalvin and then make Kirk throw the ball. So I'm going to go with under.
I'm going to agree. Yeah.
I'll go
very
over.
torn here.
I think
I'm
this
very
is
torn
a
here.
JJ and Dalvin game here. I'm going to go over.
I'm very torn here.
This is these two guys are going to bust out on a national platform here.
Hope you're right.
So there you go. Purple props over. I know you got to be responsible because you're on a mission to get down to 200 pounds. But if I said over or under, let's say 2.5 Surleys this weekend.
You know what the answer is to that one. It's the weekend. It's a football weekend. Over Surly. And you know what? Don't just say Surly. Say Surly Furious IPAs because that is what we will be crushing at the Zolgad Estate as we watch college football on Saturday. I got to be careful on Sunday because I've got to work the game. But nonetheless, the over, and I suggest that you join me in picking up your Surly Furious IPAs, Minnesota's favorite, and heck, 5-state area. We've been talking about the world. Best IPA.
The world.
Best IPA because you know why it's the best? Because none of us want to settle. We all want to get surly.
Yep. We want to make, speaking of not settling, we want to make Ventline on Sunday night the biggest Ventline ever. We've been doing Ventline on the radio for years. We did Ventline, for like 5 or 6 years on the radio, and now it's transitioned to more of a YouTube podcast show. But we're going to be live, as we always are, right after the game is over on Sunday night on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Click subscribe. Thank you. We want to make it the biggest Vikings Ventline ever, win or lose. If they lose, people are going to be pissed. If they win, it's above 500. You just beat a contending team, and it's game on, right? So let's do it. Halloween night, bring your costumes. If you're going to jump on, you can email us, VikingsVentline@gmail.com. This will be a blast, boys.
And we got some exciting news, too, from our friends.
Oh, that's right.
At
We will be.
Surly.
Should we? Yeah. Let's. So
Yes,
we're
that's fine.
gonna start with the vent of the night, brought to you by Surly Brewing Company. So and it's gonna be every week, right? So starting
Yes.
this Sunday, every week.
Yes.
My friend
the
Dave
win-
worked this out. It's great.
you're the winner. So if you bring the vent of the night and we choose you, then you'll get a night for 4 people at the Surly Beer Hall. Easy for me to say. 2 appetizers, 4 entrees, 3 beers per person. So just like
We can't
oh
we
my
can't
God,
win
dude.
this, Judd. Otherwise, Judd and I would just would be.
You know
here in
what
a
we're
second.
trying to do, Dex? We're trying to share the wealth to let people know what we know. Surly's the best.
Dude, the vent of the night. So we're gonna have a blast on Sunday night. Win or lose, we're either gonna be your therapist or your party organizers. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Purple Daily presented by Surly Brewing Company.